Hi everyone, so before I get into this week's video, I'm just going to include a bit from Emley Moor show that I was at last weekend that I was getting my tractor puller ready for. So I'll put that in at the start and then it'll be through onto the normal video. Hello.
Here we go then, on the snowball. That's great to see. Little old 285 Leyland.
So the problem grows. Eventually I will retire, and then with any luck, it will fall to someone else to teach them how to.
Right, hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So we've got some welding repairs to do today, some patchwork and some welding repairs, but it's not going to be as simple as it sounds. So yeah, this big machine behind me here is what we need to do some work on. As you can see, it's too big to be fitting inside my workshop. Right, so what this is it's a self-propelled potato harvester. So if you've never seen one before, they're quite an impressive bit of kit. Just give you a bit of a run through on how it works first. So yeah, on the front here you've got a topper, takes the potato tops off like a flail, and then it slings the tops out the side here once it's cut them off. So that's what that front bit is. And then I'm not all that clued up on potato harvesting equipment, so you'll have to forgive me if I get some of the terminology wrong. But then there's some of the bits are missing as well because they're sort of in the process of servicing it and getting it sorted out ready. So after the topper, you come to this bit here. So there's usually, I think there's another one of them rollers on that side, which is missing at the moment. And they sort of squash the row down while these sort of shears or spades or whatever you want to call them go underneath the potato row and dig all the potatoes out of the ground. And then they'll come up here, and usually in here there's like a web or a big belt with loads of bars across it that take the spuds up over there, and it sort of drops, all the soil drops out through the web. So once I've gone up there They go all the way up here, and then they come through here. I don't know if it's the same web or there's another one. It comes up over here, around the top of them rollers, and then onto these rollers here, the top side of there. So then these rollers, I think, are designed to like squash all the clumps of soil. If there's any clumps of soil, it squashes them, drops them out, and then they go over the top of them, down the back here. So yeah, they'll come down them rollers, drop onto here. These are like what we'd have at the front, bars like that with, or belts like that with bars on, and then soil can drop through. That's what would be sort of in the front section, but a wider one. So then they'll come off here, drop onto here, and then drop into this conveyor here. And then this conveyor, or elevator, takes them around like that, up over there, and then drops them onto that web there. Or maybe goes that way around actually, I'm not sure what that belt does. They maybe go that way around, and that belt maybe stops them from dropping out. And then I think they maybe go that way around and then drop onto there. So then, yeah, once we've dropped onto there, we'll go around here, we'll climb up these steps. And then when you get up onto here, there's another sort of belt or web, which you can see through there. That's where they've been dropped out onto here. Then they'll come up here, and then you'll have 4 people stood up here. So one there, one there, one there, and one where I am. And then they'll pick out any damaged spuds or any stones or any clods that have got left behind. They'll pick them all out and then drop them down the chute here. In this chute, there's a conveyor at the bottom of there that just spits them out the side of the machine. And once they've gone over here, they then go down there and then into the tank. So yeah, I'm sort of below the tank now. Once they've been over that last section, they'll then come down here and then into the tank. I'm sort of stood below the tank at the moment, where the web would be, where the potatoes would go up over. And then there'd be, it takes a bit of explaining, does this bit. That top section there folds out over. So this is like the big tank, and there's the belt or the web or whatever chain I think it is missing out of the tank at the moment. I'll just climb up. So yeah, this bit from here goes all the way around there like that. So there would be a chain that goes sort of around there, all the way up over there, around there, and then back around that way again. It all folds out as like your unloading elevator, as well as the tank itself. So I think in here we'll hold, well, he said 2 tanks for the trailer, so I'm guessing there'll be 8-9 ton of potatoes in this sort of area once it's full. I hope that's kind of giving you an idea of what the machine does. So I'll show you what's wrong now and what's to do. So on the front side of this sort of tank frame that goes around up there, is cracked. So it's cracked down there, it's cracked all the way through there, and it's cracked down that other side. Now I think that's a pretty critical point, because in the back of here somewhere, about there on the other side, is where the ram is that sort of supports it all and folds it all out. You can just sort of see through there is where the end of the ram is, which then is sort of onto this plate here and then joins up onto there. Because there is so much overhang and so much weight sat out on that side, if they break through there, then apparently all that side sags down onto the exhaust if it breaks all the way through, which obviously you don't want to happen. Yeah, my job is to repair this, but the problem I have, without lifting all of this frame out of the machine, which would be a pretty big job, there's no way of physically getting to the other side of here, because there's the main frame of the machine at the other side. So when you look at it from underneath, this is sort of the main part of the chassis that goes over the top here that holds up all the other side of the machine. And there's, yeah, that is like the bottom side of it. So there's all this lot in the way. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do yet. I've sort of been having a look at it for half an hour or so, trying to think the best way to do it. I could just grind them out, or V them out, weld them back up, but it's just a crack at the other side. It's just how far down it's gone at the other side. Because yeah, if the crack's still there and I haven't welded it up, it'll just start cracking again, but from the other side. So I'm thinking what I might do is cut a section out across there, down there, and across there by there somewhere, and just cut a square out, and then I'll be able to see in and see what's happening at the other side, how far it's cracked. I ain't really sure how it's constructed either. I think it's maybe sort of like that, like that, like that, and pressed like that. And then you can see these bits here, they're at the bottom as well. So I think there's another sort of bit like that inside the bit like that as well. So there's like a channel that way and then a channel the opposite way. So yeah, I think I'll cut a bit out first, cut a square out, see what's what. I just need to be careful I don't cut too much out that I can't weld it back in again. So I've got that square cut out of there. I couldn't get the rest of this bit out because when I feel inside there, that plate, this plate here, is sort of inside there. That comes around there like that, and down there to the bottom there, and then back across there, and it's welded from the inside, sort of on that bit, and then from there to there as well. And you can see it's cracked across the top, down that side, and then it's starting to crack across there as well. So I'm hoping now I can reach in there with a die grinder and die grind that out, and then re-weld that bit from this side, and then either re-weld that bit across the top without much space, or from underneath. Get that welded back up, and then I don't know whether to carry on chopping this bit out or whether to just chop that crack out, re-weld that, and leave this bit in, re-weld around that, weld the plate back in, and then patch over the top of it. So I've got diagrammed into them cracks a bit. I haven't gone all the way through because it'd just be, if I can get a nice hot weld over the top of that, it should burn all the way through. I'm not sure what to do with this top one yet. I'm going to bring the welder out and get the welder set up and then see whether I'm best welding that one up from the bottom or from the top. Right, so I've got all that welded up. Doesn't look particularly very nice, but I can feel on the back that it's burnt all the way through. That's penetrated through, that's penetrated all the way through. And I've welded them up. There's a big fat weld in there. I had a bit too much power on really, but I welded that sort of vertical up across there. I welded underneath there and over the top of that. There's a little bit there and it's bubbled out, so I'll have to try and do something with that, die grind a bit more. I'll go over it again with weld and then same under there. So yeah, that's all that welded up. So if I weld that square back in that I cut out of there, and then I think we'll plate over the top of it as well. I grind all that flat. So before I grind that flat, I'll weld this plate back in. Same plate that I cut back, same plate I cut out, I'll just weld it back in again. But there's a bit there that had broken out and cracked, so I've got this bit that I weld in first is like a backer. That'll fill in the gap. I'll just tack that in and then that'll fill in the gap, and then I'm not going to be burning through then. So then I can fill that up with weld without burning through. So I'll give that a clean up, tack that in, and then we'll weld this in. Right, so that's that welded in. I could have put backers behind there, I suppose, but with it only being thin, I wasn't too worried about it not burning all the way through. So I welded that vertical up, so that should have good penetration through there. Same with that. And then, yeah, so I'm going to grind that flat now, and then I'll make a plate to go over the top of it to put some extra strength back over the top. Okay, so I've got all that ground down now, so I just need to cut a plate out to weld over the top of it. So I've written all the measurements down, so I'll go and draw that up now, and I'll plasma that out. I've got to like go around them. I don't want to grind them off because it will grind the weld away, so I'll sort of cut a square out to go over them, and then I'll bring it down to here and sort of taper it off onto that bit, and then round there. So that's the plate that I've got drawn. These bits here are to go around the bits that are already, like the tabs that are welded, and then the bits that are welded on already, and then they'll be to fill full of weld. So yeah, I want to get it cut out and welded on because the weather's starting to get a bit windy. So yeah, I'll get that cut out with this bit of, I think it's 5 or 6 mil. Could have been a bit thinner really, but I've just got that there set up, so it's easy to cut it out of that. Alright, so that's that bit tacked on. That should put some more strength into it. The only bother is I should have had that hole a little bit further that way because there's a hole there that's full of paint, so that won't weld up very well, but yeah, that should be alright. Puts the strength sort of back round onto there, covers over that bit where I cut out and re-welded it. So yeah, I think then we'll get that welded round now. Right, so I've got all that welded on. Well, I haven't welded all the way underneath. I welded most of the way across the top. There's just a bit there I haven't done. But I don't think I'm going to gain any more strength from putting any more weld on it. So yeah, I think that'll do. There's a bit in the middle there that was a bit splattery. I had to grind that back out and re-weld that. Yeah, the rest of it's alright. Didn't quite have enough power on to start with. Then I had too much power on. And then turned it down a bit. I'm about right. Using a little Jasic again. Real handy little welder is that. So yeah, I'll give that a go over with just tidy it up with a sanding disc, and then that'll do. Right, so that is that welded up now, giving it paint and red oxide as well. So they did say this repair, they only needed it to sort of last another season because they're planning on trading it in after this season. But because I've welded up the crack sort of from the inside and repaired that and plated over it as well, it should be stronger than what it was originally. So that should last many more seasons. So yeah, I can get out from underneath here now. It's not been the easiest place to get into. You have to climb underneath under there, and then working off a step ladder, then this bit's in the way. So every time you get up the step ladder, this bit catches you in the back. Anyway, I can get out from under here now because this is all done. So yeah, that's that job done. So I've also had a day at Hillhead this week, Hillhead Show, which is in a quarry, which is pretty interesting, looking at all the like quarry equipment and big excavators. I got a little bit recorded, but I didn't record too much. I'll put them clips in at the end. But yeah, it was just interesting seeing how well things are made in that industry compared to like agricultural. Agricultural stuff is sort of made to a price, where it looks like that type of stuff, quarry equipment and mining stuff and big excavators, looks like it's built to last rather than to a price. So I wouldn't mind doing a bit more sort of work on plant stuff. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.